So the priority of effective rounds, we need accuracy. They need to hit what you're aiming at, assuming that you're aiming at optimal areas. Later on in this, I don't go over this in today's presentation, but the optimal areas are brainstem and the great vessels, aorta, and the heart. Not the lower portion of the heart, but the upper portion of the heart. You need sufficient penetration. They need to reach the vital organs to disrupt them. Otherwise, and I was kind of on the fence about using the bees story, and I wound up not using it from Chuck, talking about some subsonics fired through an MP5 SD, which the SD turns normal rounds subsonic. So basically it's subsonic times 2. So this guy was just getting pelted, and the rounds, he was getting shot, I think 20 something times, and they weren't reaching vitals. It was torture. Expansion is a bonus if the rounds expand. If you have that slightly larger wound channel, yeah, that's a bonus. It's not necessary. I can't think of, and I've asked others, name someone that would have survived a gunshot had the round been a full metal jacket, or vice versa. Someone that would have died had it been an expanded projectile. Magnum rounds have greater velocity, which can translate to greater penetration, but that doesn't equate to greater wounding than humans. If you think about it, we are only so thick. Once the round goes through us, the wounding is over. It doesn't do anymore. So yeah. So here's fun bonus. Modern jacket and hollow points use expansion like a parachute to control penetration. Again, that additional wounding is a bonus. Machine projectiles, their channels increase drag. That effectively slows the velocity down within a body. They're also pseudo cutting surfaces. However, they're not quite to the point of creating wounding like HSTs and gold dots, because those are still our gold standard. But if you're in a place where you can't run a jacketed hollow point, these machine projectiles wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't turn them down if they were offered. Kind of cool technology. And when I learned, I think it was Gary Roberts explained it to me about the increased surface area, the increased drag due to the machine cuts. I thought that was absolutely fascinating. Effective wad cutters use a broad meat-plat or meat-play, I don't remember how it's pronounced, to slow rounds and create cookie cutter wounding. So out of a snubby, and I'm currently scanning. No, I have some right here. Wad cutters are awesome in a gun that can shoot them. And there are some semi-autos that have been able to be designed to do that. But specifically, I'm using wad cutters in all my snubbies because due to that short barrel, there's insufficient velocity for a jacketed hollow point to expand. There are some exceptions. There are exceptions to everything, but the easy answer for me, wad cutter. Easy to shoot, low recoil, shoot to sights. Additionally, going through high desert, they're available, they're affordable, they're consistent. That's my first plug for high desert, but that's an honest, that's just that this specific one is a high desert. That's all I'm running right now. Round nose full metal jacket projectiles create a smaller entry and exit wound due to the elasticity of flesh and have a minimal resistance, which creates greater penetration. So what I mean by that is, imagine, and I do, and it's even a 38. Amazing. Imagine a round nose a round nose full metal jacket. What it's going to basically be doing is it's going to be pushing through the skin, not cutting, but pushing. So it's stretching the skin. What happens once that round passes through? Well, that entry closes up to a point. As it exits, what does it do? As it's going through that elastic skin, pushing through, after it goes all the way through, the wound closes up mostly. And also due to the geometry, due to the design of that bullet, there's less resistance. It's slick. It goes right through. It goes through further than other rounds. The best design rounds end up getting caught in the skin or pooped in the clothing on the other side of the entrance wound. So our gold dots, our HSTs, some others, especially when it comes to torso hits. So hits coming in this way, for an average human, the rounds will either get caught in the clothing for the most part, or they'll just be stuck inside the skin where during an autopsy, they just do a slight incision and pop the bullet out like a zit. Modern technology, though, it is amazing. Entering or exiting skin equals about 4 inches of penetration in gel. That was a cool factoid that I learned. And it was, again, reinforced with Dr. Williams a week or two ago.